Welcome to another episode of Simply IELTS Speak Up Sessions.
Let's help our listeners master English the simple way.
Welcome to another episode brought to you by Simply IELTS, the podcast dedicated to helping you master the English language and achieve your target band score. I'm Emma, and joining me in the studio today is my wonderful co-host, Adam. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And I am really looking forward to today's topic because it's something that trips up almost every English learner I meet, but it's absolutely essential for a high score in the IELTS speaking test.
You hit the nail on the head. Today, we are talking about phrasal verbs. For those who might be new to this term, a phrasal verb is a combination of a normal verb, like look or get, and one or two particles, like up, out, or after.
Right. And the tricky part is that when you put these words together, the meaning completely changes. If I say look, I mean using my eyes to see something. But if I say look after, it means to take care of someone or something. It has nothing to do with actually looking.
Exactly. And examiners love hearing them because native speakers use them constantly in everyday conversation. Using them naturally shows fluency. So today, we've picked 10 of the most common, high-value phrasal verbs you can start using right away. Are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's kick things off. What is our first phrasal verb?
Let's start with one you just used beautifully a minute ago. Look forward to.
Ah, yes. Look forward to. This means to feel excited or happy about something that is going to happen in the future. For example, I am looking forward to the weekend.
Perfect. It's incredibly useful for IELTS Speaking Part 1 when the examiner asks about your future plans. I'm looking forward to starting university, or I'm looking forward to visiting my family. But person B, there's a grammatical trap here, isn't there?
There is. The word to here is a preposition, not part of an infinitive verb. That means if you follow it with a verb, that verb must have an ing at the end. You cannot say, I look forward to see you. You have to say, I look forward to seeing you.
Great tip. Write that down, listeners. I look forward to verbing. Okay, let's move to our second phrasal verb, which is great for talking about problems or challenges. The phrasal verb is figure out.
Figure out. I use this one all the time. It means to understand something or solve a problem after thinking about it carefully.
Give us an example.
Sure. I couldn't understand why my computer was crashing, but I finally figured it out. Or, in an IELTS context, when I moved to a new city, it took me a few weeks to figure out the public transportation system.
That sounds so much more natural than saying, it took me a few weeks to comprehend the system. It's less robotic, which brings us to number 3, bring up.
To bring up. This has two common meanings. The first is to raise a child. For example, I was brought up in a small town. That is a brilliant phrase for the speaking test when talking about your childhood.
Yes, but what is the second meaning?
The second meaning is to introduce a topic into a conversation. Like, during the meeting, my boss brought up the issue of our budget. He introduced the topic.
Excellent. And notice how person B used it in the past tense, brought up. Phrasal verbs conjugate just like regular verbs. Okay, let's go to number 4. This is one that students do all the time when they have to study for a test. Put off.
Oh, I am guilty of this. To put off means to delay doing something, to postpone it. I keep putting off my IELTS preparation because I'm so busy with work.
Exactly. And just like look forward to, if you use a verb after put off, it needs an ing. I put off cleaning my room. It's a great phrase to describe habits or time management in speaking part 2 or 3.
I completely agree. So we've done look forward to, figure out, bring up, and put off. What is number 5?
Number 5 is come across.
Oh, that's a good one. To come across means to find something or meet someone by chance, without planning to.
Right. Imagine the examiner asks you to describe a book you enjoyed reading. You could say, I didn't plan to read this book. I was just walking through a bookstore and I came across it on a display table. It shows a very high level of natural English.
It really does.
You can also use it for information. I was doing research on the internet and I came across a really interesting article about climate change.
Spot on. Moving right along to number 6. This one is very common when talking about relationships. Fallout.
Fallout. Now, this doesn't mean to physically fall out of a window. It means to have a serious argument with someone, to the point where you stop being friends.
Give us an example of how a student might use this.
If you are asked to describe a time you had a disagreement with a friend, you might say, we had a misunderstanding over money and we ended up falling out. You can also say fall out with someone. I fell out with my roommate because he never cleaned the kitchen.
That is a very natural way to describe an argument, and it pairs nicely with our next phrasal verb, which is the exact opposite. Number 7 is get along.
Yes, to get along means to have a good, friendly relationship with someone. If the examiner asks about your family, you can say, I have a big family, and luckily, we all get along really well.
Or, I generally get along with my coworkers. It's simple, but it's much better than saying, I have a good relationship with my coworkers.
What if I want to talk about catching up with those friends? Oh, wait, I just used one.
You did. Number 8 is catch up. What does that mean, person B?
Catch up means to talk to someone you haven't seen for a while and find out what has been happening in their life. I met an old friend for coffee yesterday so we could catch up.
It's vital for part 1 questions about your weekends or free time. On weekends, I usually go to a cafe to catch up with my friends. There is also a second meaning, which is to reach the same standard or level as someone else. For example, if you miss a week of English classes, you have to do extra homework to catch up with the rest of the students.
Perfect. These are so useful. What do we have for number 9?
Number 9 is turn out. This one is a bit more advanced, but highly impressive. It means how a situation develops or ends, especially when it's different from what you originally expected.
Ah, yes. For example, let's say you go to a movie that you thought would be boring, but actually, it was great. You could say, I thought the movie would be terrible, but it turned out to be one of the best films I've seen this year.
Exactly. Or describing an event. It was raining in the morning, but the weather turned out beautifully in the afternoon. It's an incredible phrase for storytelling in speaking part 2 when you are recounting a past event with a twist ending.
That's a great tip for part 2. Okay, we have time for one more. What is our 10th and final phrasal verb for today?
Our final one is run out of.
To run out of means to use all of something so that there is nothing left. The supply is gone.
Precisely. I need to go to the supermarket because we have run out of milk. How could an IELTS student use this in the exam?
Well, in speaking part 1, if you're asked about cooking or shopping, you can use it easily. But it's also great for abstract things, like time or patience. During the reading test, I was so worried I was going to run out of time. Or, I try to teach my little brother math, but I usually run out of patience.
Oh, run out of time and run out of patience are fantastic collocations. They sound incredibly native.
Let's quickly review the 10 phrasal verbs we covered today. Look forward to be excited about the future. Figure out, to solve a problem or understand something. Bring up, to raise a child or to introduce a topic. Put off, to delay doing something. Come across, to find by accident. Fall out, to have a big argument and stop being friends. Get along, to have a friendly relationship. Catch up, To exchange news with an old friend. Turn out. How something ends or develops, usually surprisingly. Run out of. To completely use up a supply of something.
Excellent summary. Now, a quick piece of advice for our Simply IELTS listeners. Do not try to memorize 100 phrasal verbs tonight. That is a recipe for disaster.
I completely agree. If you memorize a huge list, you will force them into your sentences unnaturally, and the examiner will notice. It sounds rehearsed and strange.
Exactly. Instead, take just 3 or 4 from today's episode. Write down your own examples based on your real life. Practice saying them out loud until they feel natural in your mouth. Use them in your next practice speaking test.
Keep practicing, stay positive, and don't put off your studying. We'll catch up with you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.